I'm just going to come out and say it, man. I'm just going to come out and say it. New York prepper, NY prepper, is annoying. He's annoying. Every single video is an emergency update. It's an emergency. But I don't even just want to single him out. Black Scout Survival is annoying. And the worst part about it is they push warrior stoicism. But real stoicism is emotional detachment. And the real warrior ethos is resolute acceptance of death. What does that have to do with the outrage cycle and panicking about what's happening this week and what's happening next week and what's happening? There's always something happening. I know there's the group of people that say nothing ever happens. I'm the opposite. Something is always happening. Something is always happening. It's not that nothing ever happens. Something is always happening. You as a man, you keep your side of the street clean, you prepare, you build up skills, you take care of your family, and that's it. There's no reason for hysteria, there's no reason for panicking, and there's no reason to put emergency alert on every single thumbnail. No reason to do it. It's an inherently dishonest thing to do. And to his credit, he got 300,000 subscribers doing it because he is a master of human nature. You see, NY Prepper is an intelligent person. He's not an idiot. He's making a lot of money off his content. Pretty sure he's monetizing it, running ads, whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll correct me. Maybe he'll come in and say I'm wrong. But he has mastered human nature. I like to humble myself sometimes. You know, Socrates said, "The only thing I know is that I know nothing." So I don't really think I've mastered human nature so much as I have a good grasp on it. And I want you guys to realize the real prepper lesson from NY Prepper is that you can consolidate money and power through fear. You can capitalize off of fear. All right? Fear is an emotion that I can use to get you to do things you wouldn't normally do. Right? The most simplistic version of this is the criminal, the bank robber. I'm gonna blow your head off if you don't give me your money. That's the most simplistic version of using fear to, get the outcome you want. But there's other versions of this, and it's very, very similar what NY Prepper is doing. Fundamentally, he's using fear to exploit his audience. I don't want to be that mean because I think he does provide some value to his audience. But more often than not, I find myself clicking on one of his videos and thinking, man, this isn't really an emergency, NY Prepper. This is just kind of another every single video has emergency on it. NY Prepper, what are you doing, bro? Should you keep up to date with current events? Yes, 100%. You should keep up to date with current events. And you need to also stay emotionally detached from current events. You need to meditate, you need to get closer to your higher power, and you need to ask yourself what can be done. You need to learn practical skills to enhance your resiliency. That is what being a man is about. Getting caught up in the outrage cycles is not manly. There's nothing manly about it. You know, I've made a lot of videos about, I did the one about fake rednecks, and I did the one about these stupid road rage incidents and stuff like that, and I did my stupid people checkpoint video where I talked about, I literally did a video where I talked about my stupid people checkpoint, and I talked about fake rednecks, these little Justin Bieber guys rolling around not real rednecks, these little skater kids that pretend to be rednecks. And I asked myself, like, why do I not like these people? What is it about these people? Why does that bother me? Why does that upset me? And I thought long and hard about it. The reason it upsets me is because civilization's men, and to some extent women, have really deluded themselves inside of a main character syndrome. We all think we're the main character. We all think we're this invincible person. Like, that's what you see in these road rage incidents. Somebody gets cut off on the road. How dare he do that? I'm a mafia boss. I just watched the movie Scarface, and I think that that's who I am. How dare this person? Does he know who I am? But really, that is a fantasy. Brother, you work at Zaxby's. You are not a mafia boss. But that's what's running through these people's heads when they get out of their car during these little road rage incidents. You are not the main character. No matter what happens in this life, there are some things that are out of your control. I don't care if you're literally Elon Musk and you have as much, all the money in the world. There's things outside your control, and that's okay. Knowing what you can control and what you can't control, keeping your side of the street clean, is what being a man is about. I remember one time somebody wanted to debate politics with me. And you know what I said? I'm going to go paint my deck so it doesn't rot. And that's my politics. What use is it to advance my political agenda if I got metal that's rusting and I have wood that's rotting? The best political statement you can make, regardless of where you fall on the spectrum, the best political statement you can make is keeping your side of the street clean and showing the world what you can do. You know, Gandhi talked about being the change you want to see in the world. Instead of externalizing all your problems and blaming the world for your problems, take personal responsibility for what you can control. And don't get caught up in the outrage cycle. And it's sad seeing that people involved in the prepper movement, of all movements, we seem to be more caught up in the outrage cycle than the majority of movements. And if there is any movement that would be above that, you would think it would be the prepper movement. But we're actually very easy to control as a movement. The prepper movement is actually very easy to control, because all they got to do is put you in fear of something. They could probably make us go out and buy something that has a tracking device in it. They could social engineer us into doing that. Why? It would just be too easy. Because we have become impulsive. We have become unable to critically think about information because it's just the outrage cycle. And so we lose credibility. We look more and more fringe. We look more and more crazy. What value is there in that? What value is there in being the boy that cried wolf and having every single video be an emergency alert? What value is there in that other than me getting a bunch of subscribers in a very dishonest way? And everybody's, Canadian preppers doing it, Black Scouts doing it. NY Prepper is just the most egregious violator of this. That's the reason I'm singling him out. He's the most egregious violator of this, and if he replies to this, the best thing he could do is just admit it. Why not? Why not admit it? I'm kind of grifting right now because I'm using him to get more subscribers right fucking now. Let's just admit these things. Why do we have to lie, you know? I remember there was a homeless man. He used to hold up a sign, and the sign said, "Why lie? I need a beer." That's where I'm at in my life right now. If you catch me doing something a little bit sneaky, I'm just going to admit to it. What do I have? I don't have to explain myself as a man. Yeah, I've got a couple of tricks up my sleeve that give me an unfair advantage. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And if you catch me, I'm not going to... what am I going to do? Sit here and pretend that I'm not, that, yeah, there's all types of things that I do in life to get an unfair advantage. Absolutely. If you catch me, I'm just going to double down and be like, yeah, I did that. I'm not going to sit here, and that's the main thing, right? That's the main thing. Let's just be open about this. Let's have an honest conversation about this. This is not the stoic warrior mindset. This is not, you know? And you might say, well, Jared, you're a fat guy. What can you say about Stoicism? And you'd be right. You'd be right. But I'm not pretending to be anything that I'm not. And I have control over my mind to the extent that I don't let the 24-hour outrage cycle control my brain. I don't get angry about things because none of it is personal. And if you read philosophy and you read history, you'll realize that like none of this shit's personal. People are just trying to survive. The lion doesn't hate the lamb when he eats the lamb. The lion is hungry. This shit's not personal. None of this shit that happens is really personal. The older you get and the more you read and study philosophy and grow, you should read some books. You know, some of you younger guys, you have artificial intelligence, you have ChatGPT. You know, the ancients predicted ChatGPT. They called it the Oracle of Delphi. They called it the Akashic Records. The ancients said we would have AI. I just took you down a fucking rabbit hole right there. That's a whole nother video we'll go into. But this is a huge source of information, and it can be wrong, yes. So if AI says something that sounds crazy, ask it for the source information. Ask it for the source materials. You can accelerate your learning with AI. This is a tool you should be using to enhance yourself, not to let it do your thinking for you. And if it says something crazy, make sure to ask for the source so you can verify it. But this is a learning tool, and it's coming whether you like it or not. I know there's people that hate AI. Oh, I hate AI, I hate AI. You might as well hate the sunrise. It's coming regardless. We can hate nuclear weapons. We can hate artificial intelligence. We can hate the sun rising in the morning. It's coming. Might as well embrace it. Might as well learn how to use it. It's not going to be stopped. So, but yeah, you know, my advice to people that are 18, 19, 20 right now, you have that extra, your 20s is like a freebie. It's like an extra 10 years. You can party and be like, party, dude, and you can really, you can think that you just have an unlimited amount of time on this earth, or you can get a head start during those 10 years. Those 10 years are crucial to dictating who you're really going to be in this life. Those 10 years, you know, between 20 and 30 are crucial. And I don't want you to be misled by NY Prepper, Black Scout Survival, and to some extent Canadian Prepper. He's not as bad. But I don't want you to be misled by these people, because ultimately they want to make money. That is their main agenda. They want to make money. And that's fine, and they do provide some value. Even NY Prepper provides some value. I want to make that clear. It's not that these people are not irredeemable, evil people. You know, they're one of us. But the behavior they're engaging in is a little bit, you know what I mean? But they're still one of us. I want to make that clear. But I just want to call it like I see it. The behavior is a little bit grifty, you know? Just be aware of it. That's all I'm saying. Jordan Jared, signing off.